don't think there'd be a person sitting here now that would say that themselves, their personal self, your personal sense of self is not here. There's this sense of me. And we keep going to these satsangs and we keep hearing these non-dual teachers. And everyone's saying there's not a me here. Well, why does it feel like there's a me here then? What's going on? How do we let go of the feeling of me being present? Intellectually, I can sort of, I can get a bit of a handle on it. We might discover. How do I let go of this personal sense of me? Indeed, why does it feel like there's a personal sense of me when I'm told there's not a me? What's going on there? Because it feels like I'm here. Yeah? Now, if we've had a decent enough look, a really, really, really good look, to try and see if there is a me here. Intellectually, we should come up with all the me is a pattern of thoughts. That's all, intellectually. Okay, but me still feels like I'm here. What the hell's going on there? We claim, we own, we possess seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. This is my life. This is my awareness, and this is my consciousness. Mine. There's a possession. And if you look really, really closely at that, you'll also discover that this idea of me comes first. Me and my consciousness. Me and my awareness. Me and my beingness. It comes first. Or does it? When you actually take a look. Or does it? At some point, at a particular age, 2 years of age, somewhere around there, around the age of 2, 3, maybe, some 18 months, but around there. At some point, there's the claiming of my life. We claim it. We're taught, indeed, that we are a separate individual person. That comes through via language. It is learnt via language. Somewhere along the way, when we're really young, this sense of being here gets claimed as mine. Indeed, I am this sense of being here. This beingness. I am this beingness. That's the hijack. That's the hijack. Me steps in and claims ownership of presence, beingness. I am this. I am this. But there's a split right there. The me taking possession of the beingness, consciousness, awareness. Then we go about for the rest of our life with the me claiming to be this sense of beingness. And it's the me that is conscious. It is me that is aware. It is me that sees, hears, tastes, touches, and smells. In relation to the beingness, any wonder we're convinced that the me is real? Because the beingness is. Consciousness is. Awareness is. Not a person sitting here that could say, I am not being. You'd have to be here to say it. You'd have to be to say it. Now, from the age of 2, thereabouts, the story of Terry begins. And slowly, but gradually just gets added onto based on your environment, the culture that you're born into, parents that you have, grandparents that you have, aunts, uncles, cousins, school teachers, society. This idea that we have of me was put there. Oh, man, it was put there. How does that feel? Oh, man. And yet we think we're an individual and I'm the mover and shaker and I'm in charge of my life and, shit. That we take ourselves to be is the beingness and all the conditioning that's been implanted. What was the first one? Your name. Jesus Christ, we don't even get to choose that. Yeah. What we refer to as self-esteem starts to get developed, depending on your parents and what they're telling you, what they're conditioning into you. We become what's been conditioned into us. That's a no-brainer. Like, that's crystal clear. And it just keeps being added to and added to and added to and added to. Now, some of us, it's quite remarkable, some of us seem to be called to look. To look. And then we start to look. We become attached to things. The livingness is, as a seeming separate human being, is all about acquiring. What can I get? What can I get hold of? How much more can I get? If I get just a little bit more, it'll make me feel a little bit better. Whatever the more is. And off we go. Working, we get into the system, we work, put money away. Everyone's trying to buy their house. And it's funny, like you drive along a street, you stop, pull up outside a house, a random house, and just sit there and ponder for a moment how many people absolutely believed They owned that house. How many hands has that house been through? Yet when we own it, now it's mine. It's mine. We think we're going to own it forever. Some of us might be a little bit more advanced and realize that, oh, well, one day I'm going to leave it to my kids. But we're so frightened of the notion of death. It's such a long time into this seeming life, personal life, before we really stop, pause, and actually consider death. None of us want to face it. None of us want to talk about it. We live in this world, this fantasy world. It's almost like death is going to happen to everybody else but me. Grab, want, accumulate, want more, grab. And we grab to whatever it is that we believe is going to make us feel good, feel better. I don't know about you guys. I never found anything, not a single solitary thing, not one thing that lasted. Not one thing that lasted. The new car, the new house, the new whatever. 3 months down the track, the car's just a car again. It's just another car. Yeah. House is just another house. In fact, it becomes a problem. Yeah. Now the bank owns it and you've got to pay the bank for the house. So you're caught up in these systems. Some of us get caught up in religion. Some of us get caught up in spirituality. Some of us even become atheists, which frankly is a religion in and of itself. None of it based in fact. Then we finally stumble onto this path here. Now, this is a damn unique place to find yourself, to be. Because it's about finding yourself. But this particular path, to get to yourself, you're told first you've got to shed yourself. You've got to go. How does that get interpreted? The average person, how does that get interpreted? Seriously. Depending on how firm a grasp we have on the beingness as to how scary that very notion can be. Because if me's got to go, so too does the beingness. After all, I am that. I am conscious, I am aware, I am alive. This is my life. And yet the me's got to go. And everybody sitting here believes that their me is the beingness. Well, that's got to go. The beingness has got to go. The idea of self and the beingness has got to go. What does that sound like? Death. That's death. I haven't seen too many non-dual teachers walking around that are dead. In fact, the complete opposite. They all seem to be really alive. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Stumble in here and we're trying to find our true self, our true nature, Buddha nature, ourself, true self. And prior to even stumbling in here, we're trying to find true self. Might be we've decided to embark on meditation. Hopefully, somehow, the right practices and the right guidance, I'm going to discover true self. We don't stop to consider just for a moment what that says about current self. If we're trying to find true self, current self must be not true. If we're trying to find true self, current self must be not true. Now, what's it going to be like when not true self discovers true self? Consider the dilemma. Now, there's two of you. One standing there that's not true, and the other one standing there that is true. And the not true self is going, yippee, I found true self. Can that work logically? Can that possibly work? It's the wrong way of going about it. Yeah. Jesus. Trying to find true self. Okay, oh, fuck. Good on you. Okay. Good luck with that. So what we do here is the opposite to that. We take the position that we are is what we're looking for. That we already are is true self. And from here, we're going to work out what false self is. Now, if you follow that through, that's reasonable and that can work. But starting from the premise of false self, expecting to find true self, it can't work. False self is never going to discover true self. Whilst false self is still present. Yeah. So we come in here, and it's about coming to discover what we are not what we are. The assumption that I'm a personal, individual person. It's an assumption. And we've never been encouraged to look. Never. Not encouraged to look. So we start to look. What is this me? What is it? What the hell is this me?